from WCIA3 Plus. With Taylor Mitchell. This is Chat with the Chief.
Important it is to bridge that gap between the community and our local law enforcement. Today, I'm really excited because we are talking with the Springfield Police Chief, Joe Beal. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it this morning. Nice and early morning for us.
I know it. Thank you for getting on with us.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so tell me how things have been going. This is our first time talking. You just stepped in this position in June, beginning of June. So how have things been going?
It's been good. It's been, it's an honor to even be in the discussion as the chief of police, and now I hold the seat. And it's a testament to those folks around me that have supported me along the way, the great men and women of this organization, and my family as well, my wife and my kids, the sacrifices that they've made for my career. It's just a blessing and an honor to serve this community and the officers that I work with. So it's been good. It's been very busy. 60 days into it. Some days are busier than others. Most days are very busy. There's a few late nights here and there. So, but it's been good. It's been very rewarding, and it's an honor for sure.
Very cool. Let's take it back. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you started and got into law enforcement.
Yeah, so I grew up in a small town just north of Springfield, a town called Petersburg. I went to college, got my degree in criminal justice administration, came out of college and started applying for jobs. Back in 2005, 2006, law enforcement was a difficult position to get into. You like when I took the test, you have 600, 700, 800 people testing for maybe 10, 15 positions on an agency. Now, it's quite different. We have, maybe 50 people come out 3 times a year to test for 20 positions. So it was a challenge to find a great agency, and luckily I landed here and worked with some great folks. But been here 18 and a half years, going on 19 at the end of this year. So been extremely blessed, done a lot of cool things, spent some time on our emergency response team, which is our version of SWAT. Spent some time on our mobile field force team, which is our civil disturbance team. Was a neighborhood police officer for a while. Was in our street crimes unit for a little bit. Spent a considerable amount of time in our training division. Out there, I was a sergeant, and then I got transferred out, and then went back there as a lieutenant. So that was a very rewarding position. I got to see a lot of young officers come through, and that was refreshing to see those young faces. So. I guess in 2017, I got promoted to sergeant, and then in 2020 to lieutenant. And then sometime thereafter, I was a commander of field operations, which is the uniform division of the department, and then moved over to the assistant chief last September. Back in January, I had the honor of being selected and the opportunity to go to and attend the FBI National Academy out in Quantico, Virginia. So I spent 10 weeks out there. And what that is, it's a leadership, physical fitness, and some academic training. So it's a very pristine and world-renowned course, and it was an honor to be selected to go out there and be part of that. So came back, and Chief Scarlett's like, hey, here's the keys to the city. So here we are.
Cool. Hey, that's a long time to be at one department. What's kept you motivated?
Yeah, I mean, the Springfield Police Department is a wonderful place to work. We've worked very, very hard to build morale, to have a great place for our officers to work. There's a ton of opportunities here. We have essentially everything you could possibly ask for in a police department, outside of maybe air ops. We don't have any helicopters or planes yet. Maybe that's coming. But you canine unit, drug unit, street crimes unit, SWAT, civil response teams, what have you. We have all of that. There's a lot of opportunities for movement, not only laterally, but up as well. So.
And you were talking a little bit about your family and how they have had to make sacrifices as well for your career. What does that mean to you?
Well, back in 2003, when I was graduating college, I went to a retirement party for a guy who was retiring. He was a law enforcement officer at the Department of Natural Resources. And he said that people say behind every great cop is a great wife.
Aw.
And he said that's incorrect. He said beside every great cop is a great wife, and that is absolutely the truth. And my wife has been unwavering support for me in everything that I've done, and I've been blessed beyond what I deserve. To be even be sitting here talking to you about this is just a blessing. And then my two kids, I have a 14-year-old and about to be 11-year-old, and they know that sometimes dad goes in late or has to stay late, goes in early, and sometimes weekends and stuff like that. So they are very supportive of it, and we take advantage of our family time when we get it, though. That's for sure.
Definitely. I definitely understand that growing up. My dad is a Chicago police sergeant currently.
Okay.
So definitely understand the long hours and long nights
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
What do you think has prepared you to become the chief of police?
Well, I think in any good supervisor or good leader, number one, I think, is the love for people. You have to, our job as leaders of any organization, no matter what your rank is, whether you're a sergeant or whether you're a chief of police or what have you, anywhere in between. I say this all the time. Our job is to give our people what they need to be successful. And that doesn't stop with just training and equipment and things of that nature. That is, giving them the wherewithal, the wellness, whether it be mental health wellness, whether it be support, no matter what that is, give them the stuff that they need to be successful. And I say not just to survive at work, but to thrive at work and at home. And that is wraparound services, if you will, whether it be training, equipment, wellness support, what have you. It is our absolute job for that. And I think, my love for people and to serve people, this community, and also now this department as a whole, is what really has pushed me into that position to be the chief, I suppose.
So you're about 2 months, a little over 2 months into the
Yeah.
position. Tell me, have you come into any challenges yet?
Sure. Yeah. Work life challenge, work personal life challenge is definitely a challenge trying to balance the work life ratio, whether to be home to do this or be at work to do that. So yeah, there's been challenges along the way. So far, mostly everything has been, I'll call it smooth. We don't use the Q word in law enforcement, so we can't talk about that. But it's been fairly smooth. We got a great staff now. We had some promotions here last week, and so we promoted up 9 people, some sergeants, all the way up to some deputy chiefs. And so we got our staff set, and then I got some initiatives that I'm wanting to work on, and some changes that I'm wanting to implement. So, but it's been good.
Perfect. We're going to talk about some of those coming up. But before we head to break, I always like to ask this. If you were not in law enforcement, what other job do you think you would have?
Man, I don't know. That's difficult. So I had a family business that I worked for prior to becoming a police officer. I don't know that I would have done that long term, though. I was a mechanic. I worked on cars. So I don't know. Maybe I say this every now and then. I was like, maybe the medical field is it. You still
Oh,
get to serve. You still get to take care of folks. And I think my passion for taking care of people would be fulfilled through that. So
oh, that's awesome. I love to hear that. Alrighty, well, we are going to head to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about upcoming events. We've got the state fair over there in Sangamon County. We're going to talk about that and learn more about the Springfield Police Department after the break. Thanks for being here again. It's been nice to get to know you.
for sure, my pleasure. Thank you.
So, yeah, absolutely. I want to talk a little bit about some new programs. You're hitting the ground running. You're 2 months in and you're like, "Hey, I've got these programs. Tell me about it."
Sure. Yeah, so a couple new initiatives we're working on. We implemented a lights on program. Essentially, what that does is it provides a voucher to citizens that are stopped for a simple light that they might have out on their vehicles, such as a tail light or a headlight or something like that. What we see is some of our folks in our community have socioeconomic challenges, if you will, and instead of writing them a citation for $100 and some, let's figure out how we can bolster public safety, and take care of that, as well as ensure that our folks are taken care of, and we're not taking maybe money out of their wallet to go pay a citation or a fine that they might otherwise use for food in the cupboard or milk in the fridge. So it's called Lights On. It's a $250 voucher essentially, and instead of writing somebody a citation, we can issue them that, and then they can take it to a local shop and get a light repaired. So that's one initiative that we're working on there. So
How is that going to impact the community?
well, I said this some time ago, but I think instead of a citation being exchanged between an officer and a citizen, I think a handshake will be exchanged. Be like, and I appreciate that. Thank you for looking out for me. And I think that's what community policing is all about, and that's what the Springfield Police Department is all about as well.
I love that. So we are about a week into the state fair. Anything you want to remind people about?
Yeah, state fair. Big thing probably this time of year for late August to stay cool, stay hydrated. There's obviously a lot of parking in and around the fairgrounds. Make sure you're locking your cars. Don't leave valuables in plain view, purses, cell phones, wallets, anything of that nature. Make sure they're locked in a trunk or at least hidden away somewhere. And then have situational awareness. I think a lot of times what we see, not only at the fair, but to come to and from our cars, people are looking at their cell phones and not really paying attention to what's going on around them, and kind of making themselves a little bit of a victim there. So just put the phone away, walk to your car, have your head up, and know what's going on around you.
Definitely. And you also have some other upcoming events you'd like for people to know about. I know we had the backpack event on Monday, August 11th. Anything moving forward?
Yeah, so on August 23rd from 11 to 2 at JC's Park here in Springfield, we have a initiative, a community event, if you will, called Bridging the Gap. And it's exactly that. We're bridging the gap between law enforcement and the community. So it's an opportunity for our officers, including myself, to go out and have that non-law enforcement contact with our community members to build trust and and transparency, and kind of bolster that relationship between the community and the police department. There's only 250-ish officers in the Springfield Police Department. We cannot do this job by ourselves. We have to have all 114,000 of our residents helping us and working together. So.
And yeah, like I was saying, I told you earlier, that's a big reason I started, this segment, is because I wanted to be able to, show the community you're people like everybody else. You have families, and sometimes officers get bad reps. I know that, again, coming from a daughter of a law enforcement officer who has, been doing this for over 20 years. And so why is it so important for you to let the community know that you're there to help? We're not enemies. We want to be able to help you.
Yeah, I mean, it's critically important. Community policing is a cornerstone of modern day policing. Every law enforcement agency in the United States, and it definitely is here at Springfield Police Department as well. And so, through community policing, you have a safer community. It's safer for the citizens, and it's safer for your police officers as well. And that's how things really get done. We don't have eyes everywhere, and we need our citizens to help us out when bad things happen. We come asking questions, and if we don't have a relationship with folks, they're going to be a little apprehensive to sit down and talk to the police about whatever issues might be occurring in their communities. So it's a critical relationship at every agency nationwide. So.
Yeah, and in turn, you're helping the public. How can the public help you? How can they properly report crimes? I know something that I've been hearing even from other law enforcement agencies is many people will send maybe crime tips or incident reports to the Facebook page or social media. How can the public help better report crimes or just help the police department in general?
Yeah, so we have a connections, link on our website, which is easy to get a hold of us. Send us an email that way. If it's not an immediate issue, obviously, if it's immediate and urgent, 911, for everybody. Our non-emergency numbers, 217-788-8311. And we also have Crime Stoppers here in Sangamon County, Sangamon and Menard County as well. So you can report any crime issues that you may want to remain anonymous through Crime Stoppers as well. So.
Definitely. Now I kind of want to switch gears. You have some crime updates or crime numbers
Yeah.
that you would like to share with us.
Yeah, so I was just speaking to this the other day, and our crime stats came in through July now, and so through July we are down roughly 11%. Now that's give or take a little bit. That's the preliminary numbers, but we're down 11%. Throughout the entire community year to date. So that's 2% on crimes against persons, which are typically your more violent crimes, and then 9% down on crimes against property. So very proud of that. That speaks volumes to the great work that our officers are doing each and every day, and the dedication of the men and women of this police department.
That's incredible. Yes, that is a big difference.
Sure.
What do you think has led to that decrease?
I think proactive policing has a lot to do with that. Getting out there in the streets, making community contacts, community policing, getting to know the folks in your communities, and then just going out and just doing old-fashioned police work. I think we had our juvenile detention center that was shut down for some time. I think it being open back up is also playing a role in that as well.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that being back open and what that means for the community.
Yeah, so I think people didn't realize when it shut down, we were still doing our jobs out here, but we were having to take juveniles, sometimes almost nearly to Chicago, for detention. So that was a challenge, and you're taking one or two police officers off the street for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, and that was a huge challenge for us. And now with the juvenile detention center back open, not that we're trying to lock every juvenile up, but sometimes that's the right thing to do. And it's much more efficient for us to do our jobs, and it's helped. I believe it's helped us in some of these property crimes specifically.
Very cool. And kind of on the topic of crime, are there any concerns or top concerns that you're hearing from residents in Springfield?
One thing that I heard over and over again during my appointment process was traffic, 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 traffic. Traffic in Springfield is out of control, speeders, red light runners, and that kind of stuff. So one thing that we have done the last 2 years was when our school resource officers are done for the summer and they come back to patrol duties, we repurpose them and put them into our traffic unit. So we would bolster that traffic unit by a couple more officers. That's a couple more people out there and their specific job was to, ensure that traffic safety was paramount throughout the entire city.
So, what are you guys doing to help with that?
So it's kind of a multi-tiered approach. We've worked with the Illinois State Police and other jurisdictions around us to work on a multi location detail throughout the city. We've ran large details with other agencies. We've ran large details within our agency at specific locations. Well, most of the things we do are with traffic related that are traffic related are data driven. So we're getting statistics from high accident intersections or other issues, complaints that folks might be calling in, such as citizen complaints or other elected official complaints. They're calling in saying, "Hey, this is going on here, this is going on there," and then we direct our patrols to that particular area. And then sometimes it'll be just a simple 2-hour detail by one officer on their shift, or sometimes it might be, "Hey, we're going to pull in 15 officers and we're going to really target this particular area for a 4-hour block." And it just depends on manpower, depends on availability of officers. But we're taking a multi-tiered approach to it, not only just with our agency, but in concert with other agencies and jurisdictions around us.
Very cool. Well, before we had to break, I just want to go back to talk about how you are actively building trust with the community. So my question for you is, what is one thing that the community might not know about your officers that you would like for them to know?
Well, I think one of the biggest thing to understand about our officers is behind this badge and behind this uniform is a real human. We have feelings, we have emotions, and all that. And although we cannot let that change the way we do police work, understand that we are real humans too, and understand that we live in this community, and we have feelings and all that kind of stuff too. And so understanding that we're real people, not just robots out here. So and I think that's a huge thing to understand.
Hmm.
And it just makes the understanding between police and community relations that much more.
I agree. Alrighty, we are going to take one more break, and when we come back, we're going to learn about more future goals and final thoughts from Chief Beal. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Chat with the Chief. I'm your host, Taylor Mitchell, wrapping things up. Final thoughts with Springfield Police Chief Joe Beal. Again, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
Yeah, sure, my pleasure.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about a new technology program that is in the works over at the department. Tell me more about it.
Sure. So, real-time information center. We are in the midst of build out of a real-time information center, and what is that? That's a room with a giant video wall on one side and some terminals in there. We'll have crime analysis folks in there that will be sitting there, and they will be leveraging our technology. Technology is something that we didn't necessarily use back when I started. We didn't use a whole lot of technology. We were just good old-fashioned police work. But technology is the future of policing, and how do we leverage that and get that information to our officers? And I think that's through the real-time information center. And so, we have license plate readers, we have cameras citywide. Body worn cameras, all kinds of, shot spotter data that we use as well. All this information goes into in our computers in our cars, but trying to access that while you're trying to drive to a call for service or what have you is not necessarily what we want our officers doing. So we're going to have a center that actually leverages all that technology in real time, and they will be sitting there when a call for service comes in. No matter what it might be, if it's something that rises to the occasion where we need to start feeding them intelligence, then we can start doing that through the real-time information center. And I use an example such as a hazmat spill, which is kind of a simple example, but it's a good one. So we have a hazmat spill at a particular location in our community. Well, with the hazmat spill, there's all kinds of obstacles there, right? What resources do we need there? Which direction do we need to be approaching from? How big is the situation? What's the size up look like? And do we need fire? Do we need, the hazmat team? Do we need, do we need additional resources outside of Springfield? And so through the real-time information center, accessing those cameras at that particular intersection or location, we can take a look at the situation and say, okay, well, we need the fire department, we need the hazmat, and they need to approach from the north because the wind is blowing in a certain direction, or we're upwind, whatever the case may be. So really leveraging all that technology to not only make our law enforcement officers safer, but to make the community safer as well. And through that, we get a quicker, more efficient response time and response to the call in general.
Very, very cool. It's awesome to see technology advancing and how that can help us. Wrapping things up, any goals moving forward?
Yeah, so one of my biggest things that I talked about early on in my appointment was wellness for our police officers, and so that is near and dear to my heart. And so putting together a wellness unit for our department that really goes out and find what's the best thing for law enforcement wellness for the Springfield Police Department. Peer support, mental health, trauma mitigation, these types of things that are real and relevant things in our profession that we need to be very conscious about. And I say this to all of the folks that are leaders in my organization, is our officer wellness has to be your personal commitment. If you're not personally committed to that, then maybe a leadership role in this department is not for you. And it has to be, we have to start taking care of our people. It's a real issue in law enforcement. And I think that, if chiefs are not looking into that and are taking that near and dear to their heart, then they're missing the mark, I believe.
Definitely. Last question. Any final thoughts or any messages that you would like to leave with the public?
Oh, what would I say to the public?
There's
well,
so much.
First of all, it's an honor to serve as your chief of police. It's an honor to serve the men and women of this department as their chief of police. And we are here for you. We are a community police oriented police department, and we are here to serve you. So if you have issues, if there's concerns, and we don't know about them, we can't handle them. So please reach out. please beat us out at Bridging the Gap on the 23rd, so we can have those non-law enforcement contacts, and let's build a relationship, and let's bring Springfield forward.
Perfect. Chief, thank you so much for being with us. It was so nice to get to know you, and I look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, we have another law enforcement official coming in next week on this week's Chat from the Chief. We hope to see you there. You can find us again on the WCIA Plus app. I'm your host, Taylor Mitchell. We'll see you later.